Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on the set, about time, is a beautiful Nigerian actress, film producer, television media personality, with several awards to her name. Please welcome with us, Mona Lisa Chinda.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank
Why
you.
do you look like a shy Libby? You're not shy.
I'm shy.
You're not,
I'm not shy.
you're not shy. We see you, your elements. You're not shy. But before we even get into your interview or what you're doing, you know, there's this influencer that was saying something that was quite interesting and we thought was worth discussing. He said that this generation is one of the most hopeless ever. Hopeless, that's a strong word.
Very strong.
He says all they care about is sex, vibes, and free money. Once you find someone that offers you more with strong value, try your best to keep them. So what we're saying in essence is that many young people really don't have the essence of substance, you know, for real values. All they care about is the fast money, music, entertainment, sex, and parties. And interestingly, I don't want to use this example. I went somewhere, you know, and they were having a serious conversation. When the serious conversation starts, everybody just looking like, when the entertainment starts, they jump on, you think they know all the words, and you're thinking, goodness me, can you even spell your name? I mean, with all due respect. I mean, because all they think about is music, the money, how, you know, and that's why, even though, yes, politicians have lied to us many years, but no matter what the politician, even if a true politicians come forward, the average Nigerian will say, now money, it's only money he wants. You know, you don't even trust because we are totally blinded by this thing called money. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Let me start with the ladies before I come to Mona Lisa on this.
Okay.
What's the issue?
I don't believe anybody is empty or born empty. We are all gifted, talented. We all came with a package. We all have a purpose here. But the only difference is some people have not learned how to apply their own. Some people have not learned how to find what they have. And this still boils down to us. What are some of the things that we are modeling for them? So I remember when I was in the university, very early, all I wanted to do was party. The age. Party, go to class, don't even pay attention with my full mind, you know, come back, cook, hang out and all that. Till I met somebody who looked at me and said, you are too brilliant to play on this level, and helped me to understand who I was. And that sort of helped me position myself. Also, I had a friend in the university, Anne, she's in the UK now, just got married. She loved to go for inaugural lectures in different departments. It doesn't have to be her department. She was my close friend. And then she'd drag me, let's go and learn something. There's something you're learning. So the people that I met and I hung out with changed how I saw things, and I started paying attention to the gifts that I have. The question is, what are we modeling to these young ones? We will not expect them
let's talk
to
about
just,
modeling.
hold on please, expect them to just wake up and just find their way around life. We need to have people who they are looking up to, who will show them the right way. And probably you see that because everybody is talented.
All right, so I mean, thank you for that angle, because that makes a whole lot of sense. But you see, you didn't have social media, so you had an aunt who was there to say, okay, let's go to Negro lectures.
I had beauty pageants. I was trotting from city to city, contesting for beauty pageants, going for fashion modeling. So I still had my own, in my own bubble at the time. I still have a sort of social media, not like this, but I had my own that would have distracted me.
Okay, the point I'm trying to make is that when you talk about modeling, modeling means that you see something and you like to replicate. So you had an aunt who can say, go to inaugural lectures. You also want to be a model, fine. But the young people, what they are faced with today is everybody, Mona Lisa's page, UBC's page, Tokwe's page, everybody's page. Some are dancing naked, some are flirting with billions of naira, some are bringing cars. It is all so much in their faces. Now the point is, should we stop these celebrities from being who they want to be because they are influencing these guys negatively? Or should we say, raise our children in a way that close your eyes to these things? And I mean, how do we raise our kids when there's so many celebrities throwing things of modeling things to us?
Mariah, you're so right about the fact that there's just so much now to contend with, constantly in your face. Because I remember when we were growing up, there was a time that television would come on. And the hours that it would come on, the earlier hours would be child-friendly, you know, content, you know. And if we are lucky enough, we were old enough, like I remember when I got to primary 3, my mom insisted I watch the 9 o'clock news. I felt like an adult, like, whoa, now I can watch 9 o'clock news. You know, it was, so that was what helped you know, raised me and molded me until, you know, you now get into university. But by then, at home, they've done the groundwork. By the time you get into university, even though these pressures come here and there, you still go back to who you truly are. But here now we have the fact that you wake up in the morning and you can choose from a myriad of channels what to watch. Even the children, they have the cartoon that helps them. They have the ones that tell them only about singing and dancing, the one that tells them about, you know, so there's just so much to contend with. So the work is now on us, the nuclear family, the small family, the father and the mother, and maybe if you're lucky, an auntie and an uncle, to do the job of protecting our children from how much that they receive right now. Our schools still need to do the job of, you know, protecting their minds. I know now when we argue, we say, oh, this is the new world. Things are going fast now. But the truth is going fast because you're letting it go fast. If you're teaching children to take it slow, to watch certain things, the world would slow down. It's because we're doing much more. Now, concerning modeling, I agree with that part because many times it's so easy for the older generation to call out the younger generation. But the truth is that the younger generation did not fall from heaven. It came, that generation got here, saw a generation before them, what they were doing, what they celebrated, what they thought was important, and decided to do even better. So when you blame the present generation, you have to look at yourself. What are you doing? How are you doing it? What are you saying? What are you celebrating?
What did you say? Fantastic. I'll come to you, Mona Lisa, in a second. We saw, in this kind of influence that we see, we saw countries like China, India, control their spaces. They have their own WhatsApp, they have their own various social media platforms where it's almost as if they can control what they, because I don't know, I'm just guessing. Maybe they got to this, this point where, listen, Western content is affecting our children. So maybe at that point, at that moment, that's when they now said, the way we're doing Twitter, they have their own Twitter where they can control, they have a bit of control. If they tried this in Africa, do you even think it makes sense? Because have we gotten to the point where we must control the content our children are watching?
Okay, so we are shaped by what we consume, physically, mentally. What you eat affects how you look. What you consume intellectually affects how you think and how you behave. The cause and effect factor. So if you want to change the effect, you change the cause. You change what feeds the system, you change the result you would get. So if we are seeing the result in our society right now, and we believe that it's not working for us, then we change the things that feed our society. There was a time in developed countries, I read a book about how the US wanted to get young boys to go into military. And then they deliberately started doing movies. They paid Hollywood to produce movies that portrayed young men that go for movies as patriots, as protecting the free country. And many people were enlisting by themselves. What they did was to control what will feed the minds of the people. I think that we are getting to the point where we realize if we want to change the results we're seeing in our children, we need to change what is feeding our children. What feeding our children is social media, TV, music industry. Movies. All of these needs to be deliberately, like, you need to program the mind, because when you are unconscious, your mind is still being programmed. So can we now be more deliberate about programming right? So the guy's comment is right, and I'm happy that we have Mona Lisa here.
Mona Lisa, let me now come to help. So he's saying that it's hopeless, that our children today are hopeless. All they think about is sex, money, money, vibes, music, you know. That's all they're doing. What are your thoughts based on all the ladies have already laid down here?
So basically the word here is control. No matter how we want to look at it, the word here is control. And another word is discipline. We, as a country and as a people, we're not paying attention to a lot of things. Also, we know that the economy has really made things so difficult for a lot of us, even for the younger ones coming. So for them, in their head, in their mind, sex sells. In their head, in their mind, nudity sells. And then we have a social media that is not controlled. Everything just goes out. They see things, they fit, you know. Let me bring it home. For instance, my child, I only have one daughter. I don't have another one. So you can imagine all my attention on that. And sometimes she feels pressured. I control everything. From the Wi-Fi in my home, everything is censored. I'm sorry, that's just, I have to, what they call it, not just that. My parents sort of brainwashed me. Even till now, there are certain things I don't know, but they exist. So I'll be saying, hey, is this how it is? So my friends will be like, are you okay? You know, so I still believe that we can still do more on controlling We need to control. There are other countries that are doing it. Africans
But
were
if we
still...
control, they will carry placard. You know, Alhaji Lai Mohammed when they shut down Twitter the other day.
Not that kind of control.
Okay.
Not that sort of control. You know what? I don't want to go into details, but we need to begin to enforce because our young ones.
Yeah, I think the way we're running, the way society is running is like we're saying when you broadcast everything,
Yes.
when you show everything, so you're saying it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's not
And when you broadcast it in a way that it doesn't show what the consequences may be, you're telling the next generation it's fine. You know how they always make fun of, then they'll say city girls would do something, but when the one that comes from the village does it, she'll do it even worse.
Yeah.
So that's what it is like for the older generation. We grew up seeing almost the two sides and the consequences, but by the time our children came, you know, by the time now that the next generation is here, they don't see what we have seen already. So they just see, you know, what we're celebrating, and they pick it up and do it even worse or even better than what we did. So it's important. I understand control. What you mean by control is more you're saying, let's streamline it, let's guide them a certain way.
Yes.
Because now we can see that when you do not do this, we end up having materialistic people. We're talking about ritual killings
because
among teenagers.
Yes, and you can't even
Nigeria
change. You can't change a lot of things. But what you can do is have a mindset of the young people thinking right. You know, you can just balance everything. You can't just go out there and just be loose. Yes, we have loose content. But once you're disciplined, you think there are no other content that you and I can't go and just watch on social. It's what you choose to watch. So if you can,
they're constantly choosing wrong. How do you get them to choose right?
Yeah. So, but that is the discipline I'm talking about. Then that is just me speaking.
Some of us are enlightened enough to see this problem and understand what we can begin to do in our various homes and communities to change it. The majority of parents out there are not that enlightened. So how do we begin to educate them? So because they are in that poverty-stricken state of mind, all they want is to, what can we get? You see parents telling their children, is it not your friend that the boyfriend bought a car for? Is this not this that this is happening to? This one will say, I just started acting today. I bought a mansion in so and so place. And everybody's, that is where the money is. And all the girls want to act. And then you start, you do row 1, row 2, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. And you're realizing, what is happening?
How would I get that?
There's somebody now meets you to say, there's another thing we can do to make money.
Small girl,
so
big God.
we come constantly on social,
Small girl, big God.
Constantly on social media, portraying the fake life because we want to make it. And these kids pick up on the fake life thinking it is real. We're not showing enough work. We're not showing enough process. We're not showing how we struggled till we get it. And they'll say, no, me, if you struggled for 20 years before you blow, me, I cannot wait for 2 years. My head is different and all that. So how do we begin to educate those people? Because they are in the majority.
Yes.
They are.
The enlightened ones are few. The other people are in the majority. How? Because the truth is, they say, God, they train the king. We finish all this one, speak all this English and foundation in our homes. Our children will go to school and meet those people. Absolutely. And we're here constantly praying, how would they relate? Would they be able to find their way back? So how do we encourage these other people who are just about survival, that life is more than this?
So I think we need to drown it. Let's drown it.
Thank you.
Because this lifestyle of money, sex, and all that is so in your face that we don't have the corresponding good to drown it. So they are here, and this good is here. So what we need to, those of us that have the right mind, we need to get more good out there, and eventually to drown these guys out. So we need to do more.
That's on one side, you know. We can say we can try drowning out the noise, and we can also shut down, that's control.
Shutting down will be difficult because if we shut down, we won't get these Edo clips that we saw because social media is good and bad.
Yes.
You know, so there's a good part of it where we get somebody can record. We have the citizen journalism.
Because you see, the truth is, if there wasn't any form of control on what we are broadcasting on terrestrial as well as everywhere, and there's a bit of control on that. I can't just come here and say, because I feel like I'm not going to wear. You see this curve, where this curve ended, I want it to now end here. I don't have the right, even if I say I feel like, I can't just do what I feel like. There's an NBC code that controls how and what I do. So a society must be governed by rules, and the rules must be complied with.
Government tried to do it, remember, and we all objected to the social media regulation. We all objected.
Government didn't try to do it because there's a sincerity challenge. I do not believe that the government started the idea of social media control with the true intentions of protecting the interests of citizens. It came across more like protecting
themselves,
protecting the political class from being attacked or being criticized or being questioned.
What if we're wrong? It's speculative. That statement is speculative. You don't know.
It was reactionary.
Yes.
The movement was reactionary. What I would love to hear from our leaders is a case of we are having so many people committing ritualism. There's a lot of killing going on. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk to Facebook to shut down if any word carries to
close it.
In any form, you are not allowed to mention or there are ways you say so it will not, the post will die. There are algorithms they can use. So if you are coming from that point of view to protect my interest as a citizen, I would listen to you. I will know that Lagos is shutting down a major road in Mariam's area, and we all know it will cause major inconvenience for everybody living in that area, but we all know it is for our good. So we will bear that pain, knowing it is for our good. So we need to start looking towards that line of...
Let me jump in here. Want to add anything to that?
Well, I think she said it all. Really. She said it all.
So we're going to wrap up with... Yeah, go ahead, Mariam.
Yes, I was just going to say that there used to be a time, because now when you mentioned something about poverty, there used to be a time where being poor did not mean being vicious, being, it was angry. Sometimes even like virtues were associated with the fact that you didn't have material money. Because you didn't even have that, you paid attention to other things. You paid attention to your character. So people who would come, people would even say, it would be nice to get married to someone from this sort of family because you know that they've done the work when it comes to their character. Right. But now we have people who do not have material things, and all they think of is how to get it however they can get it. But my question now, I know we're supposed to be sort of giving answer, but my question is, what changed for those people? What made them start doing it differently?
Respect. No. You have the money, you get more societal respect and regard. And so you that don't have anything, everybody wants that respect, and that's true. It's a fundamental need of every human being to be respected.
The basic standard of life wasn't given. So at the time, when they retired, they still had things that would keep them. They were not, the circle wasn't about if I get sick, I would die because I did not have medical care. There was still a form of support that we all give to each other. But right now, they realize that, somebody can die of malaria just because they don't have money to buy medicine. And then you tell yourself, my mother died of this, my children will never die of this.
But please remember that then, if our mothers are sick, in fact, once they are older, once you get married, automatically they come into your house. Automatically. They start living with you. So the parents know. So the system that works for us as Africans. But enlightenment says, how can you bring your mother to live in my house? So we modern women don't want your mother to live in the house. So you check them out, your mother-in-law. But then they come and live with us because they assume that you feed us, you take care of us to hospital, and when we pass it, yes, that was the African system. But now, we don't want them to stay in our house.
We still keep thinking that the Western ideas will work here. It's not working for us. It's destroying us in all sects, in all ramifications. So let's look inward. Let's go back. If we can.
You're about to say, something and Tusha. Something stand, Tusha. What was the word now? What's Tusha?
The conversation we've just had.
Let's scatter the whole thing and start from scratch. Yes, let us Tusha from the beginning. Let's go to a break. When we come back, I think we did a bit of justice to this topic. Let's go to a break. When we come back, we'll find out what Mona Lisa is working on. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.